Welcome to Season 3 of Unspoken Truth. This will be a journey of breaking generational curses, spiritual ties, while we live in our purpose, and to become one with our higher selves through breaking chains of poverty consciousness and understanding the power of attraction, and always aiming to be better versions of ourselves and vibrating in our frequencies. Join me on this journey of discovering unspoken truths and changing the narrative. This is from a woman who's just like you, a mother, a sister, a daughter, and God's child. And in everything else in between, I am still an individual riding the waves of life. I am Nita Terry T, your host of Unspoken Truth. Do friendships exist? Friendship is unnecessary, like philosophy, like art. It has no survival value. Rather, it is one of those things that give value to survival. C.S. Lewis. I know this is one question that we're all ready to answer because we have those friends that we know are ride or die. I think it's an assumption that you know a person. Let me start. I've been looking at friendships for the past year or so, and I've realized that friendship isn't what we think we have with people. Hear me out. We all have this notion that friends are those that are there when times are hard. The same very friends are those that will hold you up when all fails. The ones that spend time with you and know all your secrets and your pet peeves. Here's my question. You have a whole narrative about what friends are, right? Yet, you're not 100% forthcoming about anything. When I say that, I mean you give people what they need to know. And the real person is hiding somewhere in hiding because you fear judgment. You fear people knowing who you really are. You can correct me. But I know most of us say we have friends, but we only give them what we want them to know. Okay, so let's dissect this topic clearly with a few scenarios that some of you might relate to. Scenario 1. You have been friends with someone for over X amount of years, and you know each other and you believe that you are as good as blood sisters or brothers, and people out there know you guys as the best of friends or group of friends, right? One day that so-called friend takes their life, commits suicide, and shocked, oh my God, there was just no sign. They were the most joyful, loving, and understanding friend. How could they have missed that they were suffering internally? Here's where I'm going with this. If you really know a person, you would know when they are suffering, right? If you really know that person, you would know their sad days and their good days, and they would have this form of comfort to tell you when things are not working, to show you parts of them that they don't like, to show you parts of them that are dark. But they choose not to. So if this so-called friendship is real and it exists, why do we hide dark parts of our lives? Why do we keep secrets from people we call friends and the people we claim we love? Right? So let's hold that question. Ask yourself, why is it that we only give people what we want them to know, but we never are forthcoming about who we really are? It never happens. We just want the people we call friends to know part of us. Not all of us. We all have secrets. That's why all the time we're asked by our friends if we're okay. We're quick to say, oh, yes, I'm okay. Why? Because we do not want to be ashamed. Because we don't want to tell the truth. I could be wrong. But here's scenario 2. I recently came across different posts or reels where most girls or boys, when asked if they would let their friend sleep at their partner's house, should they be stranded? And the common answer to all genders started with a laugh and a big no. They should make a plan, they say. So again, we say we have friends, most of us, but we don't trust them enough to be part of our lives, especially when it comes to relationships and partners. We would rather avoid it because chance is your so-called friend might sleep with your partner or even secretly have an affair. Again, I ask, are friendships real? Do they exist? If parts of us do not trust 100%. When we don't trust our friends 100%, do we have friendships? We would rather let them make a plan because we are avoiding heartache, right? We would rather have this friendship be at an arm's length when it comes to our personal lives, when it comes to being there for them in moments they are stranded. But if they have to be a part of your partner's life, you think twice, right? You're like, I don't know. Do you not trust them? Do you not trust the partner? Do you not trust two humans to be in the same space? So I want us to be really realistic here. That was scenario 2, and I want you to think about it, because we're so quick into safeguarding our hearts, so quick into safeguarding our spaces, but yet we go around and we say to people, oh, that's my friend, oh, that's my friend, oh, that's my friend. But in reality, we're just literally selling people a facade that friendship is real, a facade that you have this ride or die friend. But in reality, you love them at an arm's length. That's what it is. You love them at an arm's length. How many of you right now could say, oh, when my friend is stranded, and they had to sleep at my partner's house, I'll let them sleep at my partner's house? None of us, right? All of us would be like, nah, I don't think I'm going to do that. But anyway, let's keep it moving. Scenario 3. This is my last scenario, and I hope you're getting the picture by now. There's this trend lately, actually pre-pandemic, where people posted or they started posting of how busy they are and they don't want demanding friendships, and about how being grown up, they have more serious problems than to nurse a friendship or check in because they are just busy with life. I think all of us remember that trend. A lot of us remember that trend. So my question again is, no matter how busy one can be, is it hard to take 2 seconds to type a message? Hi friend, hope you well, you are loved, PS. That's it. Will it take you off your busy schedule just to drop in? Passing by just to check your friend? Passing by via text, WhatsApp, social media? We're quick to like each other's posts on social media platforms. We're quick to check each other's statuses. But nobody drops in to check on how you're really doing. Maybe they don't check in because they don't want you to be an emotionally draining friend, or they don't want you to pour into them, or they really just do not care. They really don't care. But anyway, then there was another trend where people would say, oh no, I've been quiet because I don't want to pour into you because I was going through a bad time. Okay, so if you are going through a bad time that you cannot share with your friend, that you say you do not want to pour into them, why are they your friend? Isn't friendship that? Isn't friendship when somebody can pour into you and hopefully they can help? Isn't friendship when somebody can take off some load, give you solutions to some problems, being able to vent, being able to know your friends' darker secrets, bad times, good times? Why does it always have to be good times? When we're meeting at Groove, when we're partying, when we're drinking, when there's birthday parties, why can't it be in bad times when you have to pour into somebody? When you have to do that, why can't it be that? Don't you think they can help you out? Or don't you trust them? Don't you think they can take you out of this bad funk that you're in? What is it exactly? I've been literally going through friendships since pre-pandemic, 2020. And I've evaluated my own friendships. I've evaluated other people's friendships. I've evaluated how people are. Everybody needed somebody at one point, especially during the pandemic when it was high and we were locked down. Others took from others and never returned. Others were selfishly there for themselves than in the totality of the friendship. But anyway, in all these 3 scenarios, you can tell how selfish we are as people. We tend to want friendships that suit us and suit a specific lifestyle. Whether we are all educated or drive nice cars or are married or we are team slay queens, whatever it is, we want to feed our selfish, entitled sides. We only show up when it suits us, when we want to take so much from somebody else and never give back. And we all know those people. Takers, takers, takers. Maybe we are all takers. I don't know. But we're all there for selfish reasons that suit us at all times. You can come fight me. It's okay. Come fight me. There are those friends that will emotionally drain you. They will take all from you. And the day they are good, you are in the rearview mirror. Yet we still go around calling those people friends. I think you know what I'm talking about. You always showing up for people. You constantly showing up for people. You're there. You're picking up phone calls, late phone calls. You're picking up this. You're doing this. But when everything is good and their life is now 100% the way they want it, you in the past. They are checking you in their rearview mirror like, oh yeah, we are friends when asked by other people, but are you really friends? Now that their life is good, now that they don't need to pour into you, now that they don't need you, again, we all there for selfish reasons. Let's call it out. Like a romantic relationship. When something no longer suits us, we leave, right? We like, no, boy, bye, girl, bye. You ain't my type. I don't want this shit no more. Sorry for the language, but we out of that relationship. We like, I'm good. And I believe we need to normalize that with friendships. Why can't we call out our bed friends and say, dude, listen up. You know what? I don't think we can be friends. And it doesn't even have to be like bed friendships. It's just, you know what? We're in two different places in our lives. Let's agree to disagree. I'm cool with you. Let's keep it going, right? Let's keep it moving. I don't need to be in this friendship. If you're using your friend, leave. If you cannot trust your friend, leave. When your friend wants you only for good times, leave. When your friend sucks you dry and never returns a favor, leave. There's nothing keeping you there. What's keeping you there? We find ourselves in toxic relationships and friendships, yet we hold on to them trying to fulfill some parts of us that is void instead of leaving or addressing the issue, and we pretend until hell breaks loose. And when I say hell breaks loose, until something very trivial happens and then, oh my God, that person can't be my friend anymore. But you never had that friendship to begin with. That's what I think. Don't get me wrong. Friendships can be good if they are navigated correctly. Where we do not have secrets or envy each other, where we want to see each other win and grow, when we can call out BS is BS. If it's not navigated correctly, then you're literally walking in a glass house with the fear of being a loner. So good friendships do exist, but they just need to be navigated correctly with 100% honesty and being able to trust that person you call a friend, right? I don't know. I've witnessed and exited so many friendships. The one that scares me the most is the friendships where people talk behind each other's back. You get a person coming to you to tell you about a friend of theirs and complain and even say the most horrible things, and you listen. They say things happen. I tend to ask myself, but why they had to say things behind your back, right? But those are one of those friendships that scare me. Be cautious to all, but intimate with a few. And let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. George Washington. I want to repeat this so you can understand it. It says, be cautious to all, but intimate with few. Don't let those few be well tried before you give them your confidence. George Washington. Story time. I can't leave you without a story. I always go through the chapters of my own life, hoping that you could relate, or you know that I'm not just talking from a space of nothing, but I'm talking from experience and lived experiences. And that's what I'm always willing to share on this podcast. So story time. I had a friend that I considered as a good friend of mine, right? So we met at work years ago and we continued being friends. And when I say years ago, I mean mid-2000s, okay? Mid-2000s, nothing too recent, but from that time. So we continued being friends and we got along like a house on fire until the day I met her best friend. She was lovely, but was a girl who tended to lie through her teeth. She was a pathological liar, if I should say. I picked it up, but because she wasn't my friend, I never took mind to it. I didn't mind much about whether she lied because it had nothing to do with me. She was not my friend. She was my friend's friend, right? Until one day, my friend and her best friend were having issues. I started being told how much she was a liar and how much it took from her and what type of person she was. And how, they had been friends for so long. And she doesn't understand why she acts the way she acts. And let's bear in mind, these people have been friends ever since childhood. And I'm just a newbie. And I'm hearing all these horrible things about her best friend. I remember I started questioning if this friend of mine was doing this to her best friend. What does she do, or what does she say behind my back? Right? I stayed in the friendship and acted as if I had no concerns, but I did have concerns. After a couple of years, we stopped being friends because life became busy and just never had the time to chill or visit each other. Apparently, that's what it is. And I was okay with letting that friendship go because the only thing that kept us going was good times and me having to be the one person that taught her to love herself and to be kind to herself, wiped her tears. I listened, I gave advice. I was the only one, only later to realize that this friendship was one-sided. I would say I'm glad I walked away with no goodbye, with no reasons given. I just blocked and moved on, right? Because why would I have then stayed? Because everything that gravitated on this so-called friendship of mine was we only met when we had to go through good times. And yes, sometimes we did show up. I mean, I showed up even in bad days and sad days at funerals at this. I did show up. But it was really one-sided because I still sit here and I wonder if they were saying bad things about their best friend, what were they saying about me then? And what is she saying about me now? Well, I've got no concerns about that right now, but it just gets you questioning that we need to be really careful and very cautious of the friendships we say we have. Because sometimes we're so, involved and invested in these friendships, but in reality, they're just not worth it. They've got no value. And all I'm saying in this episode is that be careful who you call a friend. Be realistic at most times. Weigh your options. Do not stay where you're not needed or valued. Do not keep people you don't trust in your life. If you cannot be 100% in any of your friendship, then it's not worth it. My grandmother once said, people aren't really your friends. Find a friend in your partner. If you're lucky enough, you'd only have 3 good friends in your life until the day you die. The rest of the pack are people who want to be you, people who pray for your downfall, or those that keep track of your life in the shadows with no excitement. Be careful of wolves in sheep clothing. Take the time to think of what has been said. Evaluate your friendships. Ask yourself the hard truths. And I'm always happy to have some of the conversations on Unspoken Truth Instagram page. But in reality, drop me a comment. But I want you to really think about it. Don't just listen to this and be like, oh, here goes our host, Nita. She's just speaking. Maybe she's scorned. No, I'm always here I want people to open their third eye. I want people to understand how the world gravitates. How many of us can put our hands up and say, I've got a friend who prays for me to grow and be successful? How many of us can say that I've got a friend who laid down on the road just to take the heads of a car because they are there for me? Not a lot of us. We can count our friends in less than 5 fingers. The ones that we think or we assume they are our ride or dies. And I think those uncomfortable conversations, those unspoken truths are things that people need to talk about in their friendships. Because a friendship is a form of a relationship. It's not romantic, but it's a relationship, right? Be able to communicate your concerns. Be able to be there for your friend or whatever the case might be. Even if you don't trust them, tell them, friend, I do not trust you. And give them reasons on why you don't trust them. It's gonna hurt. But if they're a true friend, they know where to pick up from there, right? So be careful of who you call friends. just lean onto the people you know are your friends. With time, you're going to lose a lot of friends along the way, but do not worry and do not stress about it, because that's how it is. By the time you pass away and leaving this world, you only have a few people that you can consider friends, and that's the reality. There is some self-interest behind every friendship. There is no friendship without self-interest. This is the bitter truth. I want to repeat this quote. There is some self-interest behind every friendship. There is no friendship without self-interest. This is the bitter truth. Chinekai. Follow me on Instagram and subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcast. I am Nita Terry T, your host of Unspoken Truth. Until the next episode, remember, everything in life comes with divine order, divine timing, and divine presence. Always surrounded by divine spirit. Dear you, you're going to be just fine. I thank you.
The Unspoken Truth is the catalyst for important and thought-provoking conversations that need to be had. The network tackles social ills, spiritual healing, soul-searching, and mental health awareness. To subscribe, click on the show link to follow our podcast and be part of the Unspoken Truth family. Find us on all social media platforms.